This Hive is My Home, a coming-of-age narrative by Satalia Rickman. All worker bees are female on a genetic and anatomical level, but they are underdeveloped. The queen is the only fully developed female within the hive, capable of laying 2,000 eggs per day. Her eggs may produce either worker bees, drones, or one heiress. Drones being the only male counterpart in the colony, their only purpose being to aid in reproduction to support the colony's size. There is no king per se. These behaviors remind me of the things I've seen or felt growing up. For one, I had always felt as if I was underdeveloped in some way, because my body was flat, my skin imperfect and dark, or I wasn't bold enough to approach any drones. I have this quality of naivete that some may misinterpret for immaturity and weak-mindedness. This facet of my character became the bane of my existence when the bullying began in grade school. Years of bodily and emotional bruises left me as hollow as a deadened tree. The way that I was sometimes ostracized made me wonder if I were somehow a different species from the other fledglings. Apis mellifera. That is the scientific name for honeybees. I've studied these small creatures before as a part of my studies. I would envy their perception of time. Time. I needed more when my peers required less. Time seemed to be running slower for me than my peers after all. Everyone wore their vices on their sleeves, openly and without concern. Anyone who didn't was considered a prude. I even felt inferior for being physically stronger than most girls my age. Even after having suffered asthma and heart murmur for a majority of my childhood, my body did eventually mature upon entering high school, even if I hadn't noticed the changes that happened right under my nose. I just happened to be a late bloomer. But months before my first moon, I remember a girl telling me that I would never have the gift of bearing children. Her reasoning backed by the fact that I hadn't experienced my first bleed like everyone else. Her words left a stain in the back of my mind that didn't fade until it was indeed cleansed by my first cycle, and thereafter I acquired anemia. All the while I focused on the flaws, unable to find any goodness in my being. It wasn't until, through recent shedding of self-degrading beliefs, that I realized why I could not fit into the mold of a normal worker bee. My single mother hadn't raised me to be one. She has been grooming me to be a queen one day, and she is a queen before me, outliving anyone who has done wrong by her, especially any drone who's tried to use her or belittle her, and I am nourished by her unrelenting strengths. Like a royal jelly, this is the substance that creates a queen over all the rest. This nectar was secreted for me as a salve through all the times my body was tainted by an unwanted touch. It is what kept me full when there wasn't enough to go around. And it has kept me strong for the ones I love when we became prisoners in his home. His home, but our hell for only a year. After birthing my newest brother, my mother mustered the strength she needed to leave my stepfather. but not without the cost of a broken heart. Her pain became my rage, and I made a promise to myself. Learning from my mother's life, I would never allow myself to suffer under anyone's hand like that again. I had forged a sting that protected my king, but also wrongfully guarded my heart. Today, I am still trying to heal the damage that has been done, self-inflicted or otherwise, but I understand that I am not a lost cause. I have learned to take better care of the hive that is my home. My body is my temple, and it is buzzing with life. My name is Satalia, which is also the namesake of the flower Narcissus poeticus. I was born of the vanity of men, and yet I thrive, still growing from my experiences, which have kept me grounded in solidarity with better values, and I'm hopeful that one day I may also produce a sweet nectar for which I can share with others.